If you're looking for a lockdown build that can get lane steals and then come down on the other end and hit fading threes, or a lockdown that you want to go in and score 40 points a game, this is the lock for you. Yes, you heard that right. My new 3-and-D 2-guard lockdown build is by far the best lockdown build in NBA 2K25. This is going to be a 6'4" lockdown, and I see a lot of people making it, but nobody makes them like mine. I'm telling you right now, this build is an absolute menace on defense, but stronger on offense than any other lockdown I've seen people make. I got some clips for you guys on this build. I played a few rec games as soon as I made it, and we were already going crazy. You saw the 40-point game in the intro. Real quick before we get started, 99% of you are not subscribed. Drop a sub, drop a like on the video, and let's get into this 6'4" lockdown build. Alright, so this right here is something you're going to see a lot in these clips. I only played a few games and I was already greening all of my shots. I had previously made a 6'7" lock earlier on in the year that only ends up getting a 79 3-pointer, but having the 3-pointer as high as we do on this build is honestly a game changer. And there's also been a ton of tests coming out comparing taller builds compared to shorter builds with how they move, speed, agility, everything like that. And it's just been found that smaller builds, even if they have the same speed as a taller build, are faster. So you're seeing it in these clips. We're able to get to bump steals faster, beat people to spots, get open off ball. We end up getting a 90 speed on this build, and on a 6'4" build, it feels so fast. You're able to fly around the court. And the shooting really sets us apart. I mean, look at this. Right over him. Even after the patch on steals, I was still getting between 3 to 5 steals every rec game I played. And every single one of these clips is just from the first day I made this build. I still didn't have my badges upgraded or anything. I was using like max +1s and like elevators and stuff like that. But these were really the first few games I ever played on this build. It's a ton of fun. I was stealing everything. Nobody was scoring on me. And if you're looking for a build that's just really solid, like a 3-and-D build, this one also gets that name, the 3-and-D 2-guard, which is different than a lot of the build names I'm seeing this year, which is pretty cool. I'm sick of seeing the same build over and over again. And yes, you did see that right in the last clip. We get block on this build too, even though we're only 6'4". Look at that. We're chasing people down. We're baiting lanes. We're playing 2. That's an easy steal. We also get some ball handle on this build, so we are able to move, but we get the 90 speed. We're beating everybody up and down the court and then finishing crazy layups on the center because our strength is so high. You saw the oop. We also get dunk on this build. I really can't say it enough. We're a pure lockdown, and look at how crazy our offense is. That's enough of the clips, though. Let's show you guys how to make this build. So you've heard it a few times already, 6'4", way faster than the 6'7" locks, even if you have the same speed. We end up getting a 90 speed on this build. I had a 90 speed 6'7" lock, and it's just way slower. In previous years, the taller builds were faster no matter the speed because they got across the court faster. But this year, it is the shorter builds that are faster. In my opinion, if both builds have a 90 speed, they should move the exact same, but that's just not how it is. There's been 2K Labs tests, all kinds of stuff to prove that wrong. Enough yapping. Basically, what I'm getting at is these shorter builds are faster. They're better lockdowns, and it's way better to guard those 6'2" or 5'9" guards that everybody's playing against in the stage. But we do have some weight on this build also, which is going to help us get a really high strength on our lockdown build. Definitely necessary. And then a 6'11" wingspan to go with our 6'4" height and 233 pounds at shooting guard is going to give us the best possible setup that we can get on a lockdown in 2K25. So getting right into the finishing on this lockdown build, as you can see, we get 80 driving dunk. I went with this for a very specific reason. But let's start with the badges. We get bronze posterizer, bronze aerial wizard, and bronze float game on this build. But the main reason I upgraded finishing this way was to get the Devin Booker dunk style, which is amazing this year if you didn't know. It's the entire reason I went 80 instead of 75 like a lot of people are doing. In the corner, as a lockdown, a lot of the times you're going to need a back cut or get open. And if I'm back cutting, I want to be able to dunk every single time. It's going to help you get better animations, finish more, and just overall help the team be a better lockdown. I also went ahead and put up standing dunk up to a 45. You get some good standing dunk animations around this rating. Again, gonna help us on those back cuts, just get better animations under the rim. And any build I make, I want to have at least a little bit of dunking. There's been a few I only go layup, but being able to dunk on the fast break or just dunk when you're open is way better to me. And like you saw in the clips and heard in the intro, I wanted to be a heavy offensive pure lockdown. You'll see as we get through this build with how crazy the defense is that I really cracked the code on lockdowns and made the best one. Like, I'm super happy with how the finishing turned out, and this isn't even the best part of the build. So let's get on to the shooting. On to the shooting, we are going to go with a 79 mid-range, 89 three-pointer, and an 81 free throw. Now, if you're making a 6'6" or a 6'7" lockdown, you can't even dream of having a three-pointer this high if you want to have any wingspan left anyways. We are basically max wingspan on this 6'4", and we still get an 89 3. We get silver Deadeye, silver Limitless, gold set shot specialist, and silver shifty shooter on a lockdown build. That's crazy. We're also going to unlock a ton of different jump shot animations with this. I'm personally using KPJ base. It's a starter 4 jump shot base, and it's amazing this year. In my opinion, it's the best in the game, and we do unlock it with this 3-point rating. I keep saying it, but this is another reason why I chose this over the 6-7 lockdown. Because no matter how good of a shooter you are, with that 79-3 you get on the 6-7 locks, you're going to be missing more than you will with an 89. It's just how it is. And being able to knock down more consistently on offense is super important to me, especially in like comp games. So I love this 6-4 lock for how good it is at shooting. But I'm going to say it again, this is not even the highlight of the build. Let's get on to the playmaking and then finally the defense where this build really shines. So for the playmaking, we end up going with a 71 pass accuracy, 70 ball handle, and a 75 speed with ball. This is going to get us bronze break starter, silver dimer, silver strong handle, bronze unpluckable, and silver lightning launch on a lockdown. It's also going to unlock us all of the pro dribble moves. This isn't any kind of dribbling or any kind of ISO build, but I still want to be able to move a little bit, like if I catch it on a back door or if I'm running up the court. I don't want to be a snail. I don't want to get ripped every time I touch the ball. Being able to move a little bit, especially with the driving dunk we have, just going to make the build way better. If we get into a position where we need to run to the hoop, we're actually going to be able to on this build, which is a huge difference compared to like how centers don't upgrade ball handler or speed with ball at all. I don't know, that's the only example I have, but you want a little bit at least just so you're able to run and not be completely stuck every time you touch the ball. 71 pass accuracy is also what I've been putting on almost all of my builds. It's more than enough, especially at lockdown. You don't want to waste too many attribute points on that. Definitely gets the job done. The passes are fast. Just use some IQ when you're playing. And lane steals got nerfed, so you're really not going to be throwing that many of them. Overall though, some solid playmaking for a lockdown build. Let's get onto the defense. Finally onto the defense where this build really shines, and you might be looking at that 94 perimeter, but let me explain. I will be putting my 5 cap breakers on perimeter to get that to a 99, and then I will be using my level 40 cap breaker on steal to get that to 96. So once cap breakers are applied, this will have a 99 perimeter defense and a 96 steal, along with a 68 block, 80 interior, and a 60 defensive rebound. And then I do plan on hitting vet 2. She'll be coming in a few weeks here, which I will then use to max out my steal and put some more on my speed and agility. I love the thought of builds getting better over time, so I left some room for that. But even with the base level first few sets of cap breakers, you are able to get really good defensive stats, as well as physicals. You guys are going to see in a minute, our physicals are crazy. But once you get the perimeter defense to 99 with the cap breakers, you'll have legend challenger, legend on-ball menace. We start with legend immovable enforcer because of how high our strength is, and we also have Hall of Fame off-ball pest so people aren't able to backdoor us. The steal rating before cap breakers, you get gold glove and Hall of Fame interceptor, but once you put one cap breaker on, you get Hall of Fame glove. And once I hit Veteran 2, I'll have both of those on Legend also. The amount of steals and bumps you're getting on this build is crazy. The defense is just so good. And the speed, you can see it on the bottom of the screen there, having speed on 90, being able to beat people to spots and then bump them, get around the court, grab lane steals out of the air. The combination of defense, speed, and strength we have on this build makes it so overpowered. And you did see in the clips, we got a few blocks on this build in the first few games we played. We do get bronze high flying denier, which I used my max +1 on. It's a tier 2 badge on this build, so I can use my tier 2 max +1, get that to silver. It helps you get chase downs. You're not going to get beat off the dribble often, but you're so fast you can chase it down and block it if you do get beat. And then I also went ahead and went with a 60 rebound. We get bronze box out beast and bronze rebound chaser on this build. Just going to help the centers out. If they get boxed, you can go grab rebound. And I've also seen, like, if guards drive on me, I make them miss the layup. I have a higher rebound than them, so it's not a 50-50 ball. They are not getting the rebound when we're in the paint together. Super cheap attribute that actually helps a lot in game, so I definitely wanted to get that to at least 60. Defense absolutely nuts on this build. Let's get on to the physicals though. It gets even crazier. I mean, just look at this. 90 speed, 90 agility, 92 strength, and a 65 vertical. Now the 65 vertical, the lowest one, obviously, we will not be jumping out the gym, but we do have enough to get the Devin Booker dunk style, which is really what I was going for. It's enough to help us with rebounds, to help us with blocks. 92 strength though is going to help us get legend immovable enforcer off rip. It's going to make you super bumpy. You're going to be able to stop any build in the game. Obviously, if you're going against like a massive post scorer or something, they're going to be able to shoot over the top of you in the paint, but you are able to bump everybody. And then the 90 speed and agility, you're able to get to spots way before people. In the rec, I was running out on the fast break and beating everybody up and down the court. It makes a way bigger difference this year than I realized. And having these stats so high lets me keep up with like the little guards in the stage. Or even in the park, there's so many people running 5'9s that are insanely fast, and I wanted to be able to keep up with them. And this build does it. It really is an insane lockdown. You guys saw how crazy all of the stats were. I'm having a ton of fun on this build. It's super competitive. This is one of those builds that you can play at the highest level with, but you can also have fun on. And like I said earlier, I really like the name on the build, so let's check that out now. We are going to get shades of Alex Caruso, Dante DiVincenzo, and get the build name 3&D 2 guard. I really like it. It's a little bit different, and I absolutely love the build that comes along with it. If you guys make this one, I hope you like it. Drop a like, drop a sub on your way out, and I will catch you in the next one.